Hey y'all, so I'm back. It has been a crazy couple weeks, but I'm glad I'm back to do some more videos for y'all. I hope that you're joining me. Tonight we're having meatloaf. So, what goes with meatloaf but mashed potatoes. And as many of y'all know, I hate washing dishes. If I can avoid it, I'm going to avoid it. Or at least make it simpler and not a mess to have to clean up. So, here's how we do our mashed potatoes sometimes. And tonight, this is definitely how I'm going to do it. It's super fast, it's super easy, and you don't have to dirty not one single dish. Oh. So, first thing you're going to do, paper plate. I'm just using plain old russet potatoes. Now, I already cooked these for y'all in the microwave on the paper plate. I washed them and scrubbed them, piled them up, stuck them in the microwave, and my also microwave has a setting called potato. So, I kind of cook everything on potato. It weighs it. I don't know how it works, and I don't know how long it was, but probably about, I don't know, anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes in the microwave. Immediately take them out, and you don't even have to pierce them. I promise it works. They're not going to explode. Put them in a baggie, and you're going to let them sit here and steam cook the rest of the way in a baggie for about 5 minutes. What this is going to do is loosen up the skins. Notice I did not peel these. Here's why. This is so simple, you'll never have to peel potatoes again. And if you don't mind a few skins and you're a little lazy like I am, we leave some of the skin on there. But we're going to do these in a second. They're going to keep steaming away for just a couple more minutes. In the meantime, I have done a few already for you guys. So you can see that I peeled them. Let's just open this up and let you zoom in. You can see inside there. Pretty well peeled them, and again, I'm going to show you guys how to do that, but I did leave a few of the skins on there. And now we're going to add all our yummy stuff. So, I'm going to add chives, and I'm just going to guess. And if you don't like it, you certainly don't have to add it. Chives is going to have a little mild oniony, garlicky flavor. I'm going to add garlic powder, and I'm just going to eyeball it. You can, if you love garlic, yay. If you don't add it. And I'm just going to crack some black pepper in here. Again, everything is going right into the bag itself. And, oh, I forgot my salt, so I'm going to run over here. Excuse me, Roby. And we're using kosher salt, always, always. So I'm just going to sprinkle what I think is about a teaspoon of salt. Potatoes don't have any flavor on their own, so you're going to have to flavor it. And unsweetened, plain, not vanilla, important. Just a tad bit of almond milk. And I'm going to show you too, if you don't eat all of these, if you'll add a little bit of almond milk to it before you wrap it up and put it back in the refrigerator, it will keep it from getting dried out. And then you'll just mush it back up before you reheat it in the microwave later for leftovers. And then we're going to use a little bit of butter. Now, you've got options here. This is the kind of butter that I use. It is a very high quality butter. It's a little expensive, but it's grass fed and all that good stuff, and it's a really good high quality butter. Now, a little bit of butter goes a long way, and my husband will overeat the butter. So, I'm going to use just a little bit just to get that flavor in there, and it helps if the potatoes are still hot and the butter and everything melts. So, I'm going to add just a tad bit of butter. Now, this is a whole lot less than what he would normally add on his own. The other flavor you can do if you're going to replace butter altogether, or if you just want to cut it back and trick your family and add flavor, is the low sodium chicken broth. It adds a lot of flavor, but be sure that you add it before you add your salt. You want to make sure that it's not too salty, so add a little bit of chicken broth, squish it up, taste it, and then add some more salt to taste. So that is it. All of your stuff is in the bag. You're going to seal it back up, and then you're just going to go to town, and you're just going to squish it until you make mashed potatoes. This is the part the kids can get into. They will love this part. Now, it needs to be warm so that the butter, if you're using butter, will melt. But don't let your kiddos peel the potatoes because it is very hot. And I'm going to show you that in just a second. If you've been cooking cooking a long time like I have, eventually you're going to burn all your little fingerprints off, and you don't feel the hot quite as bad anymore. But for those of you who are new to cooking, or you're little kids, you may want to save your fingerprints for a little bit longer. So, it's up to you. But there you go. You have got seasoned mashed potatoes, and you did not dirty one single dish. Voila. Again, if you're not going to eat them all, you will add a little bit of almond milk, and I'll just do that and pretend we're not going to eat this batch. Let's say this is leftovers. I'm going to add just a touch, or you could add a little bit of chicken broth as well if you'd rather, but just a touch to keep it, and I'm going to take all the air out here. This is going to keep it from drying out in the refrigerator, and also when you reheat it in the microwave, you know, sometimes mashed potatoes can be kind of dry. This will help with that. So you can see, and then I would just store it in the refrigerator like so, and you're good to go for reheat. I'm going to set that aside. Okay, now, it's probably been long enough that these babies are ready to put this out of the way so I don't knock it off. Peel. Now, I told you guys that I just piled the potatoes up on this paper plate. I did do that for a reason. Don't throw it away yet. It's going to save you some time too. And again, we don't want to dirty any dishes. So, these have been steaming a little bit, and notice how the skins peel right off. And you need a place to put these skins. And yes, this is hot potato, hot potato. So that game came from something particular. And you can get it as good and clean as you want to, but for us, that's good enough. And you're just going to peel all your little potatoes just like that, and then go to the next step, hot potato, and you can do the hot potato dance. But again, this is not for the kiddos. Don't let them do this part, because this really is burning your fingers. Keep going with that, season it just like we did the others, and you got your dish-free bag of quick, super easy mashed potatoes, and you'll just throw the skins away. Groovy. Moving on. Okay, set these aside real quick. Now, I made meatloaf, as I said, and I did one with deer meat, and then I did two with turkey. So it doesn't really matter either way. It's just as easy to make 3 of these as it is to make 1. So that is how I live. That is how I cook. I don't have time to cook every meal every day, and I know you guys don't either. So if you're going to spend the time and the effort to cook a meal, double or triple batch it. Now I'm going to show you how I freeze these. And this is great. I keep these in the freezer quite often, especially during the holidays, or if I know that there's going to be family or friends coming in, or if we're hosting a Sunday school thing or something like that, then all I have to do is pull this out, and I've got a main course already done, and it just takes me the time it takes to cook. Now, first things first, you want to make sure that you buy some of these metal, you can see on the bottom here it's metal, containers, and not use your glass ones to put in the freezer. They won't break on their own, but you never know what gets jammed up in there, and it's going to be completely covered, and you may forget that it's glass, and that's just a mess and a bummer and possibly dangerous. So I just have these metal ones for the ones that I'm going to freeze. Now if I'm just going to bake it off in there on its own, the glass ones work perfect, but to freeze, I highly suggest you get the metal. Go ahead and line the inside with foil. Guys, do this whether you're freezing it or just cooking it. It's going to save you cleanup. I promise you're going to thank me. You're not going to be sitting here trying to scrape off burnt bits and pieces. So do that. But before you fill it, you want to trace off freezer paper the size of this. Now, freezer paper is a thing. It's not parchment paper. It's not wax paper. Right? It is freezer paper, or sometimes it's called butcher paper, but only in the grocery store will it be called freezer paper. There's a slicky side, hopefully y'all can tell, And there's a non-slicky side. This is the side you can ride on. Slicky side touches the food. So this is pretty close to how it's going to fit on here. And you want to fit it and touch it and press it to the food itself. The idea behind freezing is, and using freezer paper, is that you take the air out so moisture can't condensate in there and cause freezer burn or little ice crystals, right? So this is going to help prevent that. Now from here, I've kind of started this one for y'all. I took a big giant piece of foil, and I'll just unwrap it a little bit so you can see what I did. Hopefully it's not too noisy and annoying, so see what I did here. And then I went over the top, right? And the key to freezing this and keeping it fresh and keeping it from getting ice crystals and from freezer burn is to completely cover the whole entire thing. That goes for meatloaves, cakes if you're going to freeze cakes, or anything else. If you'll wrap the whole entire thing, casseroles, it'll save a lot better. Okay, so I'm going to keep wrapping all the way around, just like so, just like a package. Fold it up, right? And it's good to go. Now, you have no clue what's in here, so voila, right on there. So it should have a few things. The date, what it is, obviously. And then what I do, just a tip, is I go ahead and write the oven temperature and the cooking instructions. That just saves me a headache. If I don't cook this often, or it's something that I don't cook all the time, or I may forget a little bit, it saves me from having to go dig out the instructions in the recipe. Also, what this will do is if I'm out of town and I tell my husband, hey, there's a meatloaf in the freezer you can whip out, all you have to do is bake it. He can pull it out easily and read the directions, and it's just foolproof. Or anybody else for that matter. I use him for as an example because he's had to do that quite often. So I also put on there, and this isn't necessarily for me because I know this, but again for company or for my husband or somebody else, if you leave it frozen and you're going to decide to bake it off from frozen, you want to add some cooking time to that. Now, it's approximate, you know, play with your oven, know kind of what it's supposed to do, and you'll know if it's done or not. You know, if it's raw in the middle, it's not done yet. If it smells like it's burning, take it out. So don't, you know, guess on that, but just kind of have some suggestions here. The other thing that I like about this, you can thaw it out and cook it, or you can literally cook it from frozen. Unwrap it all the way and take the freezer paper off. Do not cook this all wrapped up. Your freezer paper won't be good. It'll ruin your dish. So unwrap it all the way, pull the freezer paper off, and then follow your directions here. Now, just another quick tip. Let's say that you're going to do meatloaf and you're going to be at work all day, and after school you got the kids. You're going to run them to soccer or whatever, and you know that you're just not going to have, meatloaf takes a while to cook, so you know you're not going to have an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes to wait around for supper. Y'all are going to starve to death before it ever gets cooked. Here's an idea. So frozen, pull it out. Follow me over here, Trace. I have ours cooked. Now I highly suggest, you can come all the way over here. I highly suggest going ahead and lining a cookie sheet with foil, again, for easy cleanup, and then cooking it on the cookie sheet, because you're going to drain your meatloaf, or you should drain your meatloaf, and it's going to get kind of messy, or it may bubble over, and that's just going to save you cleanup on your dishes, clean up on your cookie sheet, and clean up in your oven. But here's what I would do. I would go ahead and put the frozen, unwrapped meatloaf on this cookie sheet, just like so. Close it off, and if your oven has the capability to set it to go and cook at a certain time like mine does, you can preset your oven. Because it's frozen, it'll thaw out by the time that you need it to start cooking, and so you don't have to worry about it going bad on you or whatever. It's not going to sit in there from a room temperature all day long. It's just going to be thawing out in the oven, and that's okay. But go ahead and then set your timer so it will actually start cooking for you, which is what I did today. It started cooking while I wasn't even here, and then by the time we got home, it was had about 15 more minutes to go, and we were good to go. So that's just a thought and an idea. Hopefully you guys, I gave you some cool ideas to use and some quick tricks and tips and good information. If so, please share and like the videos. In my link, which I think is above me in this video, I have shared my YouTube channel. Y'all, I have got some really cool, exciting things coming up. One of which is a cookbook. I am finally going to publish my cookbook. This is going to include all my recipes from Cooking with Kim cooking classes and more. A lot of more things that it's going to be incorporated into the cookbook that I'm not going to share. It's going to be a surprise. But subscribe to my YouTube channel. Go ahead and click on that. When I get 1,000 subscribers, I'm going to have a giveaway. So it's a 1K giveaway. So tell your friends. It'll go as quickly as I get 1,000 subscribers. So y'all help me do that. I'm going to draw 3 names from the 1,000, and you're going to get giveaways from me. One of which will be, hopefully, my cookbook by then. So anyway, stay tuned for that, but that is only going to be announced on the YouTube channel. These videos are easily found on the YouTube channel, and there's going to be more videos that I will not have on Facebook there as well. So y'all subscribe. I hope you enjoyed this, and I sure have enjoyed making it, and I will see y'all soon. Bye.